Peace to everyone. Welcome to Winning Wednesdays for Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. Today is the best day in history to be alive. Okay, today is the best day in history to be alive. So, welcome to Winning Wednesdays. My name is Errol C. Mango, and I'll be your host. Today is the last Wednesday of the year. So, of course, it will be the last Winning Wednesday of the year. All right, so I've got a lot in my notes I wanted to share today. A lot to discuss, but before we get into it, let me take a quick look at the market. Nice and red so far. Nice and red so far today. S&P slightly down, NASDAQ slightly down, total market slightly down. Several of the mega caps slightly down. Bitcoin 87.5. Okay, maybe we pull up Bitcoin's chart and talk about Bitcoin. What else? Ethereum 29.71, Microsoft 485, Meta 663, Netflix 9407, Nvidia 189, Palantir 180. Tesla is another interesting one. Tesla's 453. Okay, so that's where we currently stand at 12:01 p.m. Eastern. Okay, nice and red. Nice and red. All right, so as you come in, let us know where you're from. Today we're live on YouTube, we're live on StreamYard, and we are live on X. So let us know where you're from. Let us know where you're from as you come in. Peace to everyone. Peace from the Southeast. Peace from the Southeast. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me pull up. Let's get right into it. Let's get right in. We got no time to waste. We ain't got no time to waste. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's chart right quick. It's an interesting ticker right here. Let me share my screen here. Okay, here's Bitcoin's chart. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, 87.5. Okay, down just slightly today. All right, so let's check the year to date. Okay, year to date down 6%, 6.25. Okay, the year started at what? 93.4 roughly. And now we are at 87.5, okay? So let's see here. When was this? This was October, early October, first week October, 123, 124. 124.3 right there on October 7th. Okay, it's been all downhill since then. Okay, last quarter of the year. Let's see here. Can I see? Okay, here's a 6 months. Let's take a look at the 6 months. Okay, early October in the 120s, and now we're at 87. Okay, now we're at 87. Okay, so that's an interesting ticker. Another one that's pulled back a lot recently was Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla stock. Okay, I thought it was going to reach 500. Not too long ago, it was knocking at the door of 500. Let's see here. Okay, so December 16th. Okay, 2 weeks ago. Okay, 2 weeks ago, it's at 489. Okay, 2 weeks ago is at 489. I thought it was going to cross 500. Now we're at 454. Okay, so we pulled back to 454. Okay, that's Tesla. Interesting ticker right there. Year to date. Okay, year to date down a lot. Okay, down 19, almost 20% year to date. Okay, so a couple of tickers that I keep an eye on right there. Tesla and Bitcoin. Okay, Tesla and Bitcoin. All right, let me check what else we got here. Where else do we stand? AMD 215, Apple 272. Let's see what else I have. ExxonMobil is an interesting one. ExxonMobil, I think, is right at 120. Let's take a look at ExxonMobil. Let me pull that one up. ExxonMobil. Let's see here. ExxonMobil 120.15. All right, let's see here. Year to date. Okay, down 12% year to date. Down 12%. Started the year at 107. Okay, that makes sense? Now we're at 120. How's that down 12%? Let me make sure that's correct. Okay, that says year to date down 12%, but looks like we started at 107 and now we're at 120. Unless I'm tripping there. Okay, so ExxonMobil. All time. Okay, so it looks like it's, let's see if I can see this here. High 121, 52-week low 97, 52-week high 121. Okay, so it's about $1 and roughly $2 below all-time high on ExxonMobil. Okay, another interesting ticker, good dividend play. If you're interested in dividends, maybe you check out ExxonMobil. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get right into it. All right. Okay, earnings. Let's start off with something light. Okay, pretty slow week in terms of earnings. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Holiday season, not too much going on in terms of earnings. Here's the earnings report. Okay, nothing really this week, nothing major last week, even next week, even the next couple weeks, a light week next week. Third week in January, some of the banks, PNC, M&T, Morgan Stanley, Citi. Okay, so in terms of earnings, nothing too crazy. Pretty light few weeks in terms of earnings. Okay, earnings, not too much going on. All right, so that's earnings. I wanted to, as I mentioned, today's December 31st. So today is actually the last day for Warren Buffett to be the chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. So let's take a look at an article I wanted to discuss on Warren Buffett. All right, let's see what we got going on. Warren Buffett. I think he's stepping down effective today, close of business. Okay, see it right there, CNN. Let's see if we can read this article. Warren Buffett, last day as Berkshire CEO. Business leaders tell us what they learned from him. Okay, so I took a few business lessons from Warren Buffett, one of the best investors of all time. Warren Buffett has worn many hats over the years. The stock picking Oracle of Omaha. Okay, let's see what else here is. 95 years old. Let's see here. On the Mount Rushmore of business leaders in our country, Eli Lilly, CEO, says. Since 2000, Berkshire Hathaway has outpaced the market by more than 3-1. Okay, Buffett, who spent much of his life among the top 10 richest people in the world, is stepping down Wednesday as head of conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway. Protege Greg Abel will take the reins Thursday. All right. Let's see what he has. Our favorite holding period is forever. Okay, there's a key lesson right here. Our favorite holding period is forever. He wrote to shareholders, and look when he wrote this, 1989. Our favorite holding period is forever. All right, let's see what else it says. And since she was 1.5 years old with a life expectancy of 84, she had 82.5 years left in which to hold her stock. Okay, so it's a great lesson for buy and hold. Let's see here. From Warren Buffett, I've learned that excellence really is a discipline. Buffett racked up a net worth of around $150 billion, but he always emphasized honesty and integrity. So all of us business owners, all of us aspiring business owners, we can take multiple lessons from Warren Buffett, one of them being honesty and integrity. Okay, conduct yourself with honesty, conduct yourself with integrity. Once you lose those things, it's hard to gain back. So honesty and integrity. And he expected the same from every single person who worked with him. Lose money for the firm and I will be understanding. Lose a shred of reputation for our firm and I will be ruthless. All right, let's see. So today is the last day for Warren Buffett. Okay, 95 years old, stepping down from one of the biggest companies in the world. Okay, another lesson I take from Buffett is very simple. Okay, another lesson I take from Buffett is very simple, and here it is. If my business isn't better than other businesses, what my business will do is invest in better businesses. Okay, does that make sense? If my business is not better than NVIDIA, if my business is not better than Microsoft, if my business is not better than Meta, One of the things my business will do is invest in those businesses. Does that make sense? Okay, if my business doesn't have the margins some of these tech companies have, one of the things my business will do is invest in better businesses. Okay, so that's a very simple lesson I took from Buffett. Okay, so Buffett stepping down as Berkshire's CEO as of close of business today. All right, so that's one of the first articles I wanted to share. What do you guys think about Buffett? What are some lessons you guys learned from Buffett? Do you have any takeaways from Buffett? Do you have any takeaways from Buffett? I have several. I just mentioned one. Conduct yourself with honesty, integrity. That's another one. Another one is in terms of options. I know a lot of people are interested in options. One of the simplest, in fact, most effective option strategies that I use is what Buffett used over the years. Okay. Any of you interested in options, hit me up if you need. I've mentioned it several times before. I keep it simple. Okay. I keep it simple. One of the main strategies I use in the options market is what Buffett used over the years. Okay. All right. So that's Warren Buffett stepping down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway today. Arguably the best investor of all time. Arguably the best investor of all time. All right. Let's see what else we got here. There's a couple articles regarding the mega caps I wanted to share. But before we do that, let's go to Yahoo Finance. Let's see what's up with Yahoo Finance. Let's check some of the headlines on Yahoo Finance. Okay, here's a live look at Yahoo Finance. 2025 was a wild year for markets. Here's a look back. Maybe we take a look at that. I got this one I don't want to share. These stocks are market's biggest winners and losers. Gold and silver stumble at the end. Let's take a look at this one. Trump 2.0. Stocks soar again. Gold hits record high. AI boom rolls on. Yahoo Finance's 2025 year in review. All right, let's check this article. When the closing bell rings on Wall Street on Wednesday afternoon, the S&P will clinch its third straight year of double-digit gains. Okay, third straight year of double-digit gains. Does your business return double digits every year, like the S&P? If it doesn't, maybe your business should invest in the S&P. Wall Street is unanimously bullish on the year ahead too. Okay, unanimously bullish on the year ahead. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Powered by AI trade once again. The 2025 financial market story might seem on the surface to be a rerun of 23 and 24. Shine a bit of light on the subject, however, and we will see the inner workings of the market's path in 25. Spun an eventful story that won't soon be forgotten. Trump, largest company in the world, lost nearly 20% of its value in a single day. S&P registers worst week since COVID crash of 2020, crashing 10% in 2 days. Bitcoin hit a record high, then fell more than 30%. Gold enjoyed its best year in 2 generations. Price of silver more than doubled. All right. Investors poured more than $150 billion into startups trying to ride the AI boom, while the big 4 hyperscalers, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft, committed to investing over $300 billion this year in the opportunity. Elon Musk's foray into government came and went, while Tesla stock ends the year near record high, and his rocket company SpaceX eyes an IPO. Okay, wow, look at this IPO number. This might be the most valuable company that will IPO, 1.5 trillion in 2026. Wow, that's easily in the top 10. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang took on celebrity status in the business world and beyond. Buffett will head to Berkshire Hathaway's office on Wednesday for his final day as chief executive. Okay, January, Trump sworn in, topping 100,000 for the first time in December 2024. Bitcoin hits a record high above 109 in hours before Trump swearing in. Okay, let's see what else we have. January 23rd, S&P closed at a record high. January 27th, NVIDIA stock 17% falls 17% Okay, Trump's second wave war kicks off with the president implementing tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. February 19th, another record high for the S&P. March, Intel. Okay. Google announced plans to acquire Wiz, March 18th. Fed keeps rates flat, March 19th. Liberation Day, April 2nd. Let's see what else we have. In May 2025, okay, in early May, Buffett announces this will be his last year. Okay, so a very eventful year in the market this year. A very eventful year. Liberation Day surprise. Okay, NVIDIA does what NVIDIA does, May 27th. Okay, 28th, speculation Musk announced that he has wrapped up his time leading Doge. Okay, Tesla begins its rollout of its robotaxi in Austin, Texas. June 27th, okay, first record close since February. Let's see here. NVIDIA becomes the first company on record to see its market cap eclipse 4 trillion, 710. Clarity Act into law, 718. Trump and Powell. Okay, reciprocal tariffs, August. Appears to open a door for a September rate cut in August. Okay, so a very, very eventful year now. You might know, fast forward to October, first week in October. Since then, we've pulled back a lot. U.S. government shuts down on 10/1. It won't reopen for 43 days. Bitcoin hits a record high of 125 on 10/5. Gold trades above 4,000 for the first time on 10/7. Okay, so key date of this year, 10/10. A lot of the market has pulled back since then. First company to eclipse 5 trillion, 10/29 from NVIDIA. Okay, Meta report last reported on 10/29. Okay, Jensen Huang ate some fried chicken on 10/30. Bitcoin falls below 100,000 on 11/12. Okay, government shutdown ends on 11/13. Okay, Gemini 3 released on 11/18. All right. Netflix 12/5 there. Okay, so very eventful year. Very eventful year. What do you guys think will happen this coming year? Just as eventful, less eventful, more eventful? Okay. Interesting article from Yahoo Finance right there. I want to check that article with the winners and losers. Let's see if we can find that one. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so you got Alex Karp right there, a picture of Alex Karp. Let's check this article. These stocks are the biggest winners and losers of 25. Let me see if I can pause this. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Okay, S&P index poised to end 25 up more than 17%, even with the pullback. Okay, 17% year to date. Third year driven by enthusiasm for AI. Let's see if it mentions any company by name here. Okay, new AI leadership. Okay, no surprise. Mega caps. Let's see what else we have. S&P additions. Okay, several companies were added this year to the S&P. Robinhood. A slew of companies were added to the S&P in 25, including Robinhood, SanDisk, AppLovin, and Carvana. Let's see here. Okay, Robinhood. Okay, winner Palantir. Shares are set to notch a triple-digit gain for the third year in a row. Software developer got a boost from AI enthusiasm and strong buy-in from retail investors who are drawn to the company's outspoken CEO. Okay, let's see what else it mentions here. Warner Brothers. soared almost 175% in 25 on the strength of takeover speculation. The company formally put itself up for sale in October. Paramount, Skydance, and Netflix, with both suitors jockeying to strengthening financial backing for their offers. Loser, consumer staples, Clorox, Lamb Weston Holdings, Campbell's, beverage giant Constellation Brands, 20 worst performers in the S&P. Let's see. Shares of fast casual dining brand Chipotle Mexican Grill sank nearly 40% after 2 years of double-digit gains. Currently 37.14 on Chipotle. Loser, retail. The same economic uncertainty also hit shares of some retail companies, Deckers, Outdoor Corp. Let's see what else. Lululemon, currently 208.96. Loser, Managed Core. Health insurance stocks underperformed, despite hopes that the group would benefit from a shift in policy by the Trump administration. Molina. Okay, so interesting article right here from Yahoo Finance. Winners and losers of this year. Winners and losers. Okay, I want to check this one too. Bitcoin set to end volatile year lower, but a bounce could be in the cards for January. So how do you guys feel about Bitcoin? Bitcoin, let's read this. Bitcoin was headed for a third straight month of losses on Wednesday, capping a year defined by record highs and a dramatic crash. On the last trading day of the year, the token hovered near 88,000 after weeks of trading in a tight range. Still, a bounce could be in the cards as early as next month. Earlier this week, crypto research firm 10x Research suggests technical indicators show Bitcoin's downtrend remains in place, but likely flipping to bullish in January. The world's largest crypto is down nearly 5% year to date, with forced leverage liquidations. Long-term holders still driving prices about 30% below 30 October highs of 126. We should see some rebalancing flows come into these ETFs and perhaps ignite a bit of the spark among the bulls. In my view, Bitcoin's outlook for Q1 26 leans more toward a scenario of stability and renewed accumulation rather than a strong growth phase at the beginning of the year. Price fluctuations may remain within a range of approximately 80 to 100. Meanwhile, Standard Chartered recently slashed its 2026 price Bitcoin target to 150 from 300. Wow. Okay, even from current price to 150 is a great return. What is it, 180? Let me check the exact price. Even from current price of 88, was it? 87.4 currently, 87,400 right now to 150 is a great return, even in just a year's period. Okay, even in just a year's period. So, how do you guys feel about Bitcoin? Where do you see Bitcoin going the rest of today? 11 and a half hours to go in the year. And this coming year, where do you guys see Bitcoin going to? What price do you guys see Bitcoin going to? Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, I got an article on Meta I wanted to share for anyone that owns shares in Meta. But before we get to that, let's check out Yahoo Finance's YouTube page. Let's check out some shorts. Oh, wrong one. Let me share the correct one. It's this one right here. Screen share. Yahoo Finance. Okay, here's Yahoo Finance's YouTube short page. Several interesting shorts I saw. Let's see what we got. Okay, actually, let's start with Buffett right here. Let's start with Buffett.
The proper attitude toward investing is much more important than any technical skills. You've got to understand accounting. That's got to be like a language to you. You have to know what you're reading unless you know that language. And some people have more aptitude for that than others. And that's one thing I learned by myself. And you have to have the attitude that you're buying part of a business. And if you buy intelligently into a business, you're going to make money. And then you have to buy something that you'll be happy owning it as a business. The proper attitude toward investing is much more important than any technical skills. You've got to understand accounting. That's got to be like a language to you. You have to know what you're reading unless you know that language. And some people have more aptitude for that than others. And that's one thing I learned by myself. And you have to have the attitude that you're buying part of a business. And if you buy intelligently into a business, you're going to make money. And then you have to buy something that you'll be happy owning it as a business.
Hey, some encouraging words from Buffett right there. Again, if my business is not as good as some of these leading businesses in the world, one thing my business will do is invest in better businesses. Okay, does that make common sense? Hopefully that makes common sense. If my business is not as good as Microsoft's business, one of the things my business will do is invest in a better business such as Microsoft. Here's an interesting YouTube short here. Business school isn't for everyone.
Depends on the person, much more than it depends on the school. Some people are going to get a lot out of advanced education, and some people are going to get very little. I don't even think it's important that every person go to college at all. I mean, we have all kinds of jobs at 70 or so thousand a year, 80,000 a year. College training is not of use. I actually was not keen on going to college. Yeah, my dad kind of jollied me into it. He could get me to do anything. If they'd had an SAT test in those days, he would have taken the test for me. I knew I could have a good time, and I liked investing. It's a big commitment to take 4 years, and the cost involved, and maybe the loans involved, and everything. I think depending on what your interests are in life, I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for a lot of people. But there ought to be a reason you're going. And I didn't really see much reason. Depends on.
Okay, very interesting short there from Buffett. Okay, business school for me was a great value add business school. Let's see what else we have here. Here's what some of the top business leaders told Yahoo Finance this year.
This morning when I woke up, there were 6,000 bays in our dealerships with no technician. Average wait is 2 weeks. Not because we don't have the parts, we don't have the mechanics.
We were very hardcore. And throughout my 20s, I didn't believe in vacations or holidays. I was kind of out of control, monomaniacal.
We had a record quarter without China, and we just guided another record quarter without China.
I'm working with the AI. I'm talking to it. It advises me. It's been amazing, but I've had to learn how to do it. Everybody's going to have to retrain themselves to be productive with AI.
There are no get-rich-quick schemes.
I wish it would be the case that we would have
no get-rich-quick scheme. What? Breaking news here on Winning Wednesday.
A salary cap in baseball the way other sports do, and maybe eventually we will.
Yes, we're pro-tariff in terms of, but I want to clarify, we're not asking for an exemption.
Is Wall Street and markets prepared for 24/7 trading?
I don't know if all market participants are prepared for it. 24/7 is going to be tough with traditional infrastructure.
Always look where somebody else is not looking. That's always where you find your values. You want to look at the houses that have been sitting on the market a while.
Some good advice there from some of the America's top executives. All right, let's see what else we got here. Here's one on Google.
Google came into the year as sort of also ran in the AI race. OpenAI was clearly in the lead, but that all seemed to change this year with the release of Gemini 3. You can use Gemini on an Android phone right away. You don't need to download an app. You don't need to go to a website. That's kind of a friction point for people versus ChatGPT, which requires you to download an app or go to the web, unless you're using something like Apple Intelligence, which has ChatGPT built in. They also have the ability to make money. They're cash flow positive because they have their advertising business. They have their Google Cloud Platform business. They have YouTube, whereas OpenAI has more than $1 trillion of commitments for spending over the next few years, but they're not cash flow positive at this point. It's going to be this continuous back and forth, but for now, it appears that Google's in the lead. Google came into the year as sort of also.
Okay, Google. Interesting short there on Google. One of the biggest companies in the world, Google. All right, let me check another one of my favorites. Let's see what Forbes has. Let's check their shorts page. Okay, Larry Ellison right here. Let's see what else we have. We have Larry Ellison there. Let's check out Larry Ellison.
Paramount revised its hostile $108 billion takeover bid for Warner Bros. Discovery on Monday after WBD demanded an irrevocable guarantee for financial backing from Larry Ellison, the world's third richest person. Larry Ellison agreed to provide an quote irrevocable personal guarantee of $40.4 billion to finance Paramount's $108 billion offer for Warner Bros. Discovery, Paramount said in a statement, noting Ellison would not revoke his family trust or transfer its assets during the transaction. In a Securities and Exchange Commission filing last week, Warner Bros. Discovery questioned whether the full Ellison family trust would remain committed to Paramount's bid, suggesting the family has, quote, no obligation to cooperate, but noted a, quote, personal guarantee from Ellison would be sufficient. Paramount stated that a guarantee from Ellison, the father of Paramount Skydance CEO David Ellison, would satisfy Warner Bros. Discovery's somewhat vague requirement for flexibility during interim operations.
Larry Ellison.
As part of its amended...
Larry Ellison, if you're watching this, let me hold something. Larry Ellison. Holla at me. All right. What else do we have here? Okay. So it doesn't seem like Forbes upstate their short page that much. But I still like Forbes content. Let me check CNBC right quick. CNBC television shorts. Let's check if they have any interesting shorts here. Okay, same thing with them. They don't seem to update their shorts page that much. All right. Enough of the shorts. One thing I wanted to mention in terms of scheduling. 12:32 p.m. Eastern. Today at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll have our second lab application. Those of you in the B1 Options Masterclass, today at 2 p.m. Eastern, hour and a half from now, we will have our second lab application. So during that time, if you wanted to discuss any specific strategies, last night we discussed position management. We can discuss some position management. I'm going to pull up a trade tracker. You guys can use that, those of you in the course. So that'll be today at 2 p.m. Eastern. And then next week, Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll have week 5 of the B1 Options Masterclass. We will discuss entity trading. Those of you that have a business, those of you interested in entity trading, check us out next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will have week 5 of the B1 Options Masterclass. All right, so that's some updates in terms of scheduling. Okay, some scheduling updates. Let me share a article I have here from Meta. I'm a part owner in Meta, so this speaks directly to me. So any of you that own Meta shares, you might have seen this. Meta to buy Manus. Let's see what's going on with Meta. Okay, Meta to buy Manus, an AI startup with Chinese roots. Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg is not just sitting back with his feet kicked up. Mark Zuckerberg is making moves. Okay, Meta has agreed to buy Manus, a popular Singapore-based AI agent with Chinese roots, in its effort to build a business around its massive AI investment. The deal values Manus at more than $2 billion. It marks a rare U.S. acquisition of an Asian tech company with the latest multi-billion AI bet from Meta CEO Zuckerberg. The agreement, which was struck in about 10 days, asking not to be identified as details not public. Meta intends to continue operating and selling the Manus service while also integrating the tech into its products. Backed by some of China's biggest names, including Tencent, the Zhang Fund, Manus shot to prominence earlier this year, not long after DeepSeek's debut. All of its existing investors have been bought out in Meta's takeover, one of the people said. It's unclear whether severing Chinese ties will ease government concerns at a time when the Asian nation and the US are vying for AI dominance. Okay, so Meta is adding to its arsenal. Meta is adding to its arsenal. Zuckerberg made AI his company's top priority and is spending billions to hire researchers, build data centers, and develop new models. Manus had an annual revenue run rate of 125 million earlier this year from selling its AI agent to businesses via subscriptions. Okay, here we go. The Manus AI agent can complete a handful of general tasks, such as screening resumes, creating trip itineraries, and analyzing stocks in response to basic instructions. All right, let's see here. Meta already has an AI chatbot, Meta AI, which is available through the company's social media and messaging platforms. In addition to its AI glasses, okay, so the rich are getting richer. The rich are getting richer. Okay, even the top companies in the world are not staying stagnant. Even the top companies in the world are not staying stagnant. Meta's aggressive spending to compete in AI races matched by rivals like OpenAI, Alphabet's Google, and Microsoft. Zuckerberg has pledged to spend more than $600 billion on U.S. infrastructure projects over the next 3 years. The company has hired an expensive team of researchers to develop a new state-of-the-art AI model. It's planned to debut next spring. Okay, so Meta adds one more tool to its toolbox. Meta adds one more tool to its toolbox. Okay, interesting article from Yahoo Finance yesterday. I saw this. Yeah, Tuesday morning. Yesterday morning, I saw this article. All right, so Meta is adding to its weaponry. Okay, Meta is adding to its weapons. Okay, last week we talked about some precious metals, specifically gold and silver. I have a article on copper. Okay, copper is not a sexy precious metal, but let's see what's going on with copper. Okay, copper is not as sexy as gold and silver, but let's see what's going on with copper prices. Copper on pace for best year since 2009 as AI demand, supply fears fuel record price rally. Who owns some copper? Okay, you got the gold chain, you got the silver chain. Do you have the copper chain? Do you have a copper chain? Are you blinged out with the copper? Are you blinged out with the copper? Okay, let's check out what's going on with copper. 3 month copper prices were up 1.5% at 12,405 per metric ton. Okay, did you buy a ton of copper? Copper has been a big beneficiary of the buildup of renewable energy, EVs, and now, of course, data centers. Okay, copper is on track for its biggest annual price rise in more than a decade, driven by supply disruptions, weakening U.S. dollar, improving expectations for Chinese economic growth, and blockbuster spending on AI. Let's see what else here. Benchmark contract, which is up 41% this year, is on pace for its best year since 2009. In New York, copper prices have soared more than 40% since the start of the 2025. Biggest annual jump in 16 years. Demand for copper is widely considered a proxy for economic health. Demand for copper is widely considered a proxy for economic health. The base metal is critically important to the energy transition ecosystem and is integral to the manufacturing of EVs, power grids, and wind turbines. All right. Analysts at JP Morgan said in a research note published in late November that copper prices could have further room to run next year. Okay, copper. Copper, another asset on the rise. Okay, who knew copper? Who knew copper would be on fire? Okay, another precious metal here, copper. Do you own any copper? Do you guys own any copper? Does anyone own any copper? So interesting article from CNBC right there. Let me go to CNBC's. Let's see what's going on with CNBC. Oop. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. Okay, markets closed mixed on last trading day of 25. Defense stocks rise. Gold, silver prices fall after CME raises questions precious metal margins again. Okay, I saw this one. I saw this headline. China is about to restrict silver exports, borrowing a page from Rare Earth Controls. Global stock markets capped a strong 25 with bigger questions looming for 26. Interesting article here. Elon Musk envisions humanoid robots everywhere. China may be the first to make it a reality. If you had a humanoid robot, what would you make it do? I always think about if I had a robot, what would I make it do? Go pick up the mail, go wash the car, go cut the grass, go do the dishes. What would you make your humanoid robot do? Okay, what kind of tasks would you make it do? What would I do? I'll make it go clean the bathroom, do the laundry, things like that. I'd defer all these minor tasks, but still important to it so I can focus on what I'm good at. All right, so that's a live look at CNBC right there. Let's see. Let's check the markets tab. Okay, major indexes just slightly down. S&P, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, all slightly down. Okay, in terms of market movers today, Nike is up. Molina Healthcare, Universal Healthcare on the opposite side. Moderna. All right, so that's CNBC right there. CNBC, another resource I like using. Let me check another one I like using, MarketWatch. Let's see what's going on with MarketWatch. And another one is Motley Fool. I like Motley Fool too. All right, let me share this one. All right, here's a live look at MarketWatch. Let's see. All 11 sectors of the S&P are losing ground in the final session. 20 stocks in the S&P that gained the most. Gold, silver, copper have been trouncing stocks in 25. Here's what a key chart level suggests could lie ahead. Why there could be another government shutdown and what it would mean for you. Maybe we check that one. Let's check that one. Congress returns next week with a new deadline looming. Does it give us the day? Deadline of January 30th to stave off a new one. Okay, so end of the month. Another deadline approaching at January end of January. All right, so that's MarketWatch. All right, okay, so let's go to Google. Let's take a trip to Google. Let's take a trip to Google. Actually, before we do that, another thing in terms of scheduling, we still got a ways. We still got some time. But let me share my screen here. We are in tomorrow's January 1st. ABC 2026 is about 10 months out. So those of you interested in attending the ABC in the fall of 26, check out this page right here. I believe the convention will be in Jersey. Let me drop this link in the chat for anyone interested. Copy. Drop this link in the chat for anyone interested. Okay, so check out that link right there in the chat. This coming ABC will be the 11th year. Always great networking, always great information, always a good opportunity to connect with like minds. So check out this link, check out this website. We're still early, but put this on your calendar. Put this on your calendar. All right, so that's this coming October 2026. Okay, so check out that link if interested. Okay. Check out that link if interested. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, let's take a trip to Google. Let's take a trip to Google and let's search. Let me pull up Google right here. All right, let me share my screen. Share screen. New tab. Share. Let's search stock market news. Okay. See what's going on in these stock market streets. Is the stock market open on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day? Okay, just a quick reminder, those of you that don't know, tomorrow's January 1st, the market will be closed tomorrow. I thought maybe the market would close early today, but that's not the case. Regular hours in the market today. Let's go check Economic Times to confirm. Let's see here. U.S. stock markets are open on New Year's Eve, closing at 4 p.m. Eastern, while bond markets close early at 2 p.m. Okay. All right, you know what I want to do? I am going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back one screen. Let me go back one screen, maybe two screens. All right, let's check some more news. Interesting article here from ABC News. Let's see what else we have. All right, let me search the S&P right quick. S&P 500. All right, let me go to the year to date right here. Okay, so this doesn't make sense. This doesn't look like it makes sense, right? Started the year at 5,800 and now it's 6,800. So this down 17% doesn't make sense to me. Am I tripping? Let me search it like this. SPY ticker. Year to date. Okay, so that says down 17%. That doesn't make sense though. If it starts the year at 584 and now it's 684, that's more like up 17%. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? But here's the point I wanted to make. Here's the point I wanted to make. If my business does not return 17% every year, I'm better off just buying and holding the S&P. Okay? If my capital is not returning 17% or more every year, I'm better off buying and holding the S&P. Okay. If my profit margins, if my business is not returning 70% and my capital is not growing 17% or more, I'm better off just buying and holding. Okay, so that's the S&P right there. 5 years. Okay, that doesn't make sense here. It seems like it's up 83% in 5 years, right? If it started the decade at 373 and it ended 2025 at 684, I'm not sure how that's up, down 83%. Is that up 83%? Is that math? Does that math? Does that math? All right, someone confirm if that math be mathin'. All right, okay. Let's see. Let me check my notes right quick. All right, let's take a live look. Let's take a live look at some of the other tickers I follow. Let me stop sharing that one. Let me stop that one. And let me share this one. All right, here's my trading view. Take a look at my trading view right here. Okay, nice and red. Nice and red. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Can I blow it up? Can I blow this up? Okay, so maybe you can see that a little bit better. Okay, nice and red. Nice and red. Okay. How are you guys dealing with this? How are you guys dealing with this? Okay, what's your approach? What's your strategy? What's your mindset? What's your execution? Okay, how are you guys dealing with all this red to end of the year? Okay, since October, since maybe second week in October, we've been pulling back a lot. Okay, how are you guys dealing with this? Let me see if I can pull up this S&P chart right here. Year to date. Let's see year to date. Okay, here's the year to date. Let me see if this makes sense on the S&P. Okay, there's August right there, January. Okay, yeah. For some reason, TradingView, sometimes their chart doesn't cooperate. If I change this to range, let's see if I can change the time period here from day to, okay, that's going back, what, 3 months, something like that. Okay, so anyways, the point is some of the tickers on the right here that I follow, AVGO 347. Okay, AVGO's pulled back a lot. Okay, back in early December, we're at 410, 411. Now we're at 347. Okay, AVGO is a good option play. If you take a look at their option chain, you can send your capital to work. All right, so this is some of the tickers I follow right there. Nice and red in these streets. If you know what you're doing in the options market, it doesn't matter the color, okay? Your bills will be due regardless. Your family needs to eat regardless. You should be able to produce regardless, okay? Doesn't matter. If you're versatile enough, doesn't matter. All right, so that's a live look at TradingView. All right, so drop some comments or questions in the chat. Before we wrap, drop some comments or questions in the chat. Let's check the comments. Peace to everyone joining. Peace to Jen. Peace to Mia. Peace to my guy Nick. Shout out Callie in the building. Shout out to my guy Nick. Let's see. Antoine, NC in the building. Big up Antoine, NC in the building. Who else we got? Okay, so Antoine says he has some silver and some gold. Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone joining Winning Wednesday. Today is the last Wednesday of the year. Okay. Today is Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. Today is the best day in history to be alive. Okay. Don't get it twisted. Today is the best day in history to be alive. This thing right here is arguably the best invention ever. I press a few buttons on this thing and I cash flow something crazy, buy back my time and go live my life on my terms only. So don't let nobody fool you. Today is the best day in history to be alive. Okay, today is the best day in history to be alive. Shout out to today is also New Year's, right? New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to everyone. What are you going to do different in 2026? What are some 2025 lessons learned? What are some 2025 takeaways? What are you going to do different in 26? What are you going to do the same in 26? Do we have a game plan for 26? Okay, we have graduated. Okay, we have graduated. Okay, we have graduated away. We have graduated away from blaming other people for our outcomes. We have graduated away from mediocrity. We have graduated away from not taking accountability. We have graduated away from not taking full responsibility for ourselves. Okay, we will no longer defer our outcomes to HR We will no longer defer our outcomes to any middleman. We will no longer defer our outcomes to any politician. We will no longer defer our outcomes to anyone else. Okay, we are chief executive. Okay, whether you're ready or not, whether you're qualified or not, you are CEO. Okay, you are CEO, whether you like it or not. Okay, you are CEO. You're the best qualified to be CEO of your life. You are best qualified to be CEO of your life. No one else is better qualified than you. Okay, let's see what else we got. Let me check the notes. What I want to do is check out GPT. Let's go to GPT. Let me pull up GPT right quick. All right, let me share my screen here. All right, let me ask GPT what's up. Okay, let me share screen. GPT, where are you at? Okay, here it is. All right, let's ask GPT. What are key events in the stock market in January? GPT, let's see what you got. Q4 earnings. Okay, let's see what we got. Major U.S. companies start reporting Q4 earnings in January. J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, I think it was the second week or third week of January. The Fed, I believe, meets at the end of the month, if I'm right. The Fed often releases interest rate decision. I think they meet at the end of January. I want to confirm that. Annual forecast, tax-related trading. Okay, so this is actually today's the last trading day of the year. So I expected more volatility actually because of people tax harvesting and closing out positions. All right, so here's some quick overview of what's going on in January. Okay, let me ask the GPT, when does the FOMC meet again? I think on the 30th, was it? 27th, okay, 27th, 27, 28. So here's a list of, here's the next scheduled meeting dates for the Federal Open Market Committee. Next meet on the 27th, 28th, March, April, June, July, September, October, December. Okay, so next, maybe you mark these 2 days on your calendar, 127, 128. Okay, the Fed will meet again at the end of January. All right. All right, so that's GPT. Let's see what else we got. Let me check the notes. Year-end review. Okay, last thing I got in my notes is year-end review. Okay, so how did your portfolio perform this year? Check your year-to-date returns. Those of you in the options market, check your cash flow, check your P&L, check your total cost basis, check your total cash flow. Check your benchmarks, right? Benchmark against the S&P, benchmark against the NASDAQ. How are you guys? Are you doing anything different this coming year? Are you changing up anything? Let us know in the comments. My guy Antoine says, simple goals for 26, stay the course with minimal distractions. Okay, yep, this is a good one. And become debt-free again. Okay. Shout out to Antoine. Stay the course, minimal distractions, become debt-free again. Okay, shout out to Antoine. For me, 26, let me think of a couple of goals for 26 for me. I'm gonna drop it in the chat. One of them is stay free. What else I got? Kill the market. Second one. Third one is like Antoine, I'm a minimize the distractions, and go harder. That's for me. Stay free, kill the market, minimize distractions, go harder. All right, so that's my plan. check your feelings too. Okay, so you might heard me saying some of the option classes: detach the emotions, detach the feelings, attach the analysis, attach the mathematics. Okay, save your feelings for your family, save the feelings for your loved ones, save the feelings for your peoples. Okay, when it comes to business, when it comes to the options, when it comes to that market, execute at the highest level possible. Okay, there's no emotions involved. There's no emotions involved. All right. Shout out to Mia. I'm going to get my commodities and continue building my capital base. Okay, so I can replace my cost of living. Okay, good. Shout out to Mia. I'm going to get my commodities and continue by building my capital base so I can replace my cost of living. Okay, yeah, that's a great goal. Cost of living is a key number. Okay, so anyone that wants to be financially free, know your cost of living so you can eliminate it. Once you eliminate your cost of living, you can officially buy back your time. Okay, you can officially live your 24 hours on your schedule only the way God intended. Okay, God did not intend for HR to be your chief executive. God did not intend for Mr. Charlie to be your chief executive. God intended for you to be your chief executive of your life, your portfolio, your time, your family, and all the other assets you manage. Okay, you are chief executive. Mia, I'm going to own my identity as CEOs of my life, all parts: financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, politically, socially, financially, psychologically, and otherwise. Okay. Shout out to Jen. All right. It's more important than ever to understand business. It's more important than ever to understand the basics of business, the basics of entrepreneurship, the basics of the stock market, the basics of real estate. It's more important than ever. Okay, with the advancements of technology, it's more important than ever. Okay, we can't rely on nobody else. Okay, we cannot rely on nobody else. Okay, colored man in America cannot sit around waiting on Santa Claus. Okay, Santa Claus did not slide down. Breaking news here on Winning Wednesdays. Santa Claus did not slide down my chimney last week and save me. Okay, breaking news. What day is it today? December 31st. Santa Claus did not slide down my chimney and save me last week. Okay, not so breaking news. Colored man in America cannot wait on Santa Claus to slide down his chimney and bless him. Okay, colored man in America can't wait for anyone to come and save him. Colored man in America must get off his ass, stop crying, stop complaining, make shit happen on his own time. Okay, I cannot wait for a next man to come save me. Okay, next man don't care about me like I care about me. Next man don't care about my family like I care about my family. No disrespect to Santa Claus. Santa Claus, I'm better qualified to save me. I'm not waiting on you to come save me. Okay? No more waiting on Santa Claus. We whoop his ass in business. Let Santa Claus wait on us. We will not wait on Santa Claus. All right, 1:03 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully you got some value out of today's meeting. Those of you in the B1 Options Masterclass, we will meet at 2 p.m. Eastern. We will talk some position management. We will talk some strategy. We will talk some actuals. So those of you in the B1 Options Masterclass, I'll see you in 57 minutes. Until next week, my name's Errol C. Mangle, and I'm just a free colored man who can do basic math. Okay, check you out next week. Peace.